Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you could, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below. That would be greatly appreciated. So I'm going to dip back into my live album series and discuss one of my favorite live albums of all time. Obviously, it's no surprise because I have a copy of it sitting here. And I am talking about Lynyrd Skynyrd's 1976 live record, One More from the Road. I have a second copy sitting here, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So, just to give you a little backstory, Lynyrd Skynyrd hails from Jacksonville, Florida, my hometown. They started as high school buddies in the late 60s. The core of the band at that time was Ronnie Van Zant on vocals, Alan Collins and Gary Rossington on guitar. They had a lot of people that came and went, people that later went on to be in 38 Special, Blackfoot, so on and so forth. They were once they stabilized their lineup, they were signed to MCA Records and released their first album in '73. That contained the epic Freebird. And their second record came out in 1974 called Second Helping. That contained the massive top 10 hit Sweet Home Alabama. They released a couple of more records, 1975's Nothing Fancy and 1976 Give Me Back My Bullets. And it was on the Give Me Back My Bullets tour that this album was recorded. So One More from the Road was released on September 13th, 1976. It was actually recorded earlier that year in July of 1976 at the famous Fox Theater in Atlanta, Georgia. And some of the proceeds from this and other shows they did were actually designed to help the Fox Theater stay open and not be shut down and torn down. This album reached number 9 on the Billboard charts and is currently certified triple platinum. This was the first album of any sort to feature the Steve Gaines lineup of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And let's see, there's some other things going on here. Yeah, so we'll get to, more about the actual music on the album itself, but I want to actually, do what we do on this show and go inside the vinyl. So again, like I said, I've got two different versions, or editions, I should say, of One More from the Road. So this one in my hand here is an original issue, and we're going to open this up in a second. And this right here was a later edition. I don't have the book right in front of me, but somewhere in the later 70s, maybe even, close to the 80s, a little more of a discount version of the original release here. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. All right. Let's get rid of that. All right. So here we have the front cover of One More from the Road. I guess the joke is it was going to be One More for the Road, but they crossed it out and put in One More from the Road. But anyway, I don't really know if that's true, but here's the front cover of the record. Here's the back cover. All right, let's open this bad boy up. All right, and when you open it up, I'm not really sure what you would call this. This is just a collage of a lot of different things. I don't really know what any of it is or what statement it's making or if it's just different things seen on the road, or whatever, but it's just a mishmash of things going on here. Over on the side here, is a bit written by Cameron Crowe, who was a journalist for, I think, Rolling Stone at the time, but you might know him better from doing movies like Singles, and I think he was actually the basis of the story of the movie Almost Famous. If I'm wrong about that, I'll put something up here, but he wrote a little deal over here for the album. And then, of course, in the middle here, you've just got track listings with who wrote the songs, liner notes, so on and so forth. So pretty cool. And let's see. If I open it up here, this is kind of neat. Actually, let's before we even get to that part, let's take a look at the actual record itself. Nothing too special here. Standard MCA issue, in the 70s. Right down to the sleeve, which of course, also is MCA, so that's original. That's pretty cool. All right. Second record, I'm sure looks exactly the same. Same outer sleeve, everything else. So we won't waste your time with that. But this is kind of cool. And to be honest with you, I've had a bunch of copies of this album, and I don't think I ever noticed that this was in any of them until recently. So it's just a nice little, I wouldn't really call it a booklet. It's just a nice little insert. So on the front, it has the marquee at the Fox Theater, showing that, Lynyrd Skynyrd was going to play there. And then when you open it up, here we go. Here's all the pictures. Here's all the pictures of the band and everything on tour and at the show and everything. Pretty awesome. All right. And then their thank yous are all on the back of the back of this insert here. So that's pretty neat. Yeah. Like I say, I had a lot of copies of this record, and I don't know that, any of them that I previously had ever had this insert in it. But that's really neat. So, let's talk about the record a bit. Personally, I think this album has the best 1-2 punch opening of any live album I've ever heard. They start off with their song Working for MCA, which I've always been amazed at that song. Like, you get signed to a record label, and then at your showcase, you actually play a song threatening the record label, telling them that you're going to kick their ass if they don't pay you all their money. I just think that's awesome. That's the things of that's like the stories of folklore or whatever it is. Just crazy things like that. Like how somebody would have the balls to write a song like that and basically threaten their new record label. But awesome song. Starts off with Working for MCA and then just goes right into I Ain't the One. I'm telling you, give it a listen. Listen to those first two tracks. I mean, seriously, the best 1-2 punch in the history of live albums, in my opinion. Just amazing. But I mean, good Lord. Just a litany of hits going down the line here of stuff from their first, 4 records. We've got Tuesday's Gone. We've got Saturday Night Special. We've got Traveling Man, which is kind of cool because Traveling Man was a song they played on tour, all the time, but they never actually recorded a studio version of the album. At least the original band didn't. The reformed Lynyrd Skynyrd recorded a version in 1997 on their 20 album, where they were able to pull Ronnie Van Zant's vocals from some of the live tracks so he could actually do a duet with his little brother Johnny Van Zant, who currently sings for Lynyrd Skynyrd. So that's really cool. But I mean, of course, Sweet Home Alabama, Give Me 3 Steps, Call Me the Breeze. My favorite just Skynyrd track of any sort, live, studio, or whatever, even though it's a cover, but T for Texas. Love, love, love that song and their version of it. And then it ends with Crossroads and Freebird. I mean, just start to finish, this is an amazing live record, recorded brilliantly. I mean, it sounds, like I talk about on all these live albums, shows that I do, I don't know, what's real and what's studio doctored or whatever, and I don't really think it matters. I think all that really matters is that they capture the magic of going to a Lynyrd Skynyrd show, and although I never got to see the original Lynyrd Skynyrd, I imagine it's not too far off from what this album is. And knowing what I know about Ronnie Van Zant, I don't think he would allow them to go through and fix a whole lot of things. That just wasn't his style. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is a pretty authentic live record. Just based on what I know about the band, and I mean, just amazing. I mean, the production values. I mean, Artemis Pyle just destroys on this album. I mean, he's just fucking amazing, and the rest of the band is too, man. I just, I know a lot of people kind of scoff at live albums and like, oh, I don't like live albums and all that. I think that's crazy, especially in the time period of the 70s. Just lots and lots of amazing live albums came out, and this right here is at the top of the heap. It's right up there with Made in Japan from Deep Purple and Alive from Kiss and, all the other good ones. So, yeah. So let's talk about some of the different editions and why I have 2 copies up here. So like I said, this is an original issue. And I did look up the, the product number or, the whatever it is. Yeah. To double check. And this is actually the original, the original issue with, with the gatefold and everything else. This issue I have over here, my son actually got this from his grandfather, and we had recently before then, gone to a record show, and he had gotten a version closer to this. Maybe not quite as in good a shape as this one is. I don't remember, but he had gotten an original issue. So we had traded some of his duplicates and stuff that he had in. So I kept this just because I was interested in it for the moment. And this was an edition that came out later, like maybe 78, 79, somewhere in there, and did not have the gatefold, and I'm assuming was more, because I noticed on the front of this one, there's nothing on the front of this about a specially priced double album set. But on the front of this one, if you look down at the corner, it says specially priced 2 record set. So this was an issue put out a little bit later to maybe, not necessarily cut out bin, but, to be able to sell the same album, but at a discounted rate. Without all the gatefold and all the extra stuff. So pretty cool. This one's seen better days. I've got the top and bottom taped up because the cover was falling apart and everything, and I'm not really sure I'll keep it beyond doing this show, but you never know. So anyway, so I mean, that's pretty much it for, actually going inside the vinyl here, but there are some different editions of this album. I'm pretty sure if they've reissued the vinyl, and I'm sure they have, it's probably the same, track listing and all that, but there's been deluxe editions of the CD that have come out. I know one came out in '99 with all the other remasters of the original catalog. And that deluxe CD had more tracks. It was 2 CDs, but the second half of the second CD was some alternate recordings from the other nights, because this was recorded over 3 nights between 7/7/76 July 7/76 and July 9/76. Recorded over 3 nights. So there's some alternate tracks and some alternate recordings, just to kind of show you, like which ones they left on the cutting table and which ones they included on the record. So it's kind of cool. So check those out. Those are available on CD. They're available on iTunes and all that. And I'm sure you can go to most used record stores and probably find yourself a nice copy of One More from the Road. And there may even be, reissued vinyl out there on Amazon or something like that. So check that out. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment, and share below. I've got some other videos on my channel, my Inside the Vinyl series, which includes not only my live album edition, but also my Lost Classics. I've also got my Unboxing the Vinyl series, where we unbox new releases and reissues and box sets and so forth. I've got some concert footage from festivals, Welcome to Rockville, Exit 111. Hopefully I'll be adding more as concerts start to ramp back up in the post-COVID era. And I've got some crappy disc golf videos if you feel like watching those too. So again, check them out. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.